Hey, what's going on, y'all? So, just kind of getting into it. There's like a lot of things that I learned within my enterprise sales career that helped me, get some major opportunities. For years, I thought like that in sales, it was all about talking, right? It's all about being knowledgeable, like super knowledgeable about a product or service, and being able to use certain verbiage and just do a whole bunch of talking, really, just like some fancy talking. That's kind of at first. That's kind of what my mind was. And for years, that's what I really thought it was. Like, okay, if you were a salesperson, like you look nice, you look sharp, and when you go talk to somebody, you like let them know like boom, 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 and you have just to register this stuff off, right? And when I start getting enterprise sales, like something like these big high ticket sales, is like, nah, brother, that's not it. That's not it. And I'm about to talk to you guys about the biggest lesson that I learned that helped me in my career. And I started to get opportunities that I never even thought was possible. And today I'm sharing those things with you. So first, the lesson, like, people don't buy products, they don't buy services, they buy trust. Again, I'm gonna tell you again. They don't buy products, they don't buy services, they buy trust. Once I you can get away with having knowledge, right? You can get away by having vocabulary to a certain extent. But once I got into the business sales of things and really wanted to take myself to another level, the knowledge that I gained from business sales had to increase by learning industry vocabulary, right? And by learning the industry vocabulary lets you get into the room. But then getting into rooms is just not enough. When I got under tutelage by senior executive sales, by senior executives, I started to learn that it was more about trust. It's more about having these conversations, building a relationship. They have met with their clients multiple times, five plus times, really to kind of get an understanding from them. And these wasn't sales that was gonna close like within 30 days. Some of them weren't, right? Like some of the big ticket sales took 3 months, at least 3 months from the really big stuff. And there had to be a trust there because these companies, they got multiple people calling them all the time. And just because they said, oh, I'm AT&T, I'm Verizon, or whoever it was, Comcast, whatever company it was, the reputation would get you in the door. But then the business manager had to trust you. The business manager had to trust you. The CFO has to trust the numbers, and the CEO or whoever is over the project has to trust all of those things and then approve it and sign their name on a dotted line for that particular contract or that deal. So everything had to begin with trust, and there's multiple ways that people will get there. And when I figured out that trust was like kind of like the biggest thing that changed everything. That changed the conversations I was having. It changed how I looked at sales and also life as well. Because most people walk into conversations, trying to sell. Like, if you're thinking about, everybody goes to like the car salesman person because they just boom, boom, boom. They just on top of you, and they know you in need, so you got to get this, whatever. And so People really don't like the salesman nowadays, the salesman type person, right? They like a friend, they like a consultant, somebody that tries to understand them, right? And I started going into those conversations by having understanding, by asking questions. That's like the biggest thing. Like when you're trying to present something, you want to ask questions to your potential customer. Ask them about their understanding on why they're there, or what they need, right? Ask them about what is important to them and their company. Ask them what they're looking forward to within that year. Ask them about their budget. Ask them what's important to them, right? Ask a whole bunch of questions that gives you a whole bunch of ammo, so you can figure out if the product or service that you have, if that aligns with their business. Understanding what their mission statement is, understanding the business vision. Asking those questions will help you get there. And once you get there, then you can align your product or service. But again, they have to trust you, so they have to have an understanding of who you are and why you're there. Yeah, we're all trying to make money, but we're all trying to do this together. And with asking those questions, it helps build value in you. It helps build value with the company, and that value is trust. And they trust that you're gonna make the best decision for them. And that's how I was able to start to sell solutions, right? That's how deals started getting contracted, was because there was a need there. I understood the need. I understood how the need aligned with them, and how the need aligns with them, and the conversations I was able then to regurgitate. Hey, you told me X, Y, and Z. Here's your problem, right? And this is the reason why these problems are there. Here is the solution that we have. Here's how the solution is going to fit your need, right? And because it will do this, this is going to be the outcome. So it's multi-layered, right? And once people get an understanding that you understand them, then those opportunities will start opening up. And that is what I learned. That's the biggest thing, is to get the understanding, get the trust, understand the industry language to get you in the door. Then understand your customers' pain points and what their needs and wants are. Understanding those things, and then regurgitating to them about what those needs and wants are. And then you can align your product or service to them. And when you do that, right, that builds a rapport. And it's not going to happen just one time. Like, again, I said, when I was under these sales executives, right, they had multiple conversations with them. Now, with some of you, it might not come down to those multiple conversations, depending on that level of ticket that you have and the amount of money that's being spent. It could just be right then and there. But you have to have an understanding with your potential customer. You have to show yourself knowledgeable about the industry, right? Ask inquisitory questions to understand what their pain points are, and then align your product and or service with them, and let them know why that you are recommending this. Because you're not becoming a salesperson now, you are a consultant, not a salesperson. Now, why does trust apply to everybody? Here's the thing. You do not have to be in sales to do this, right? But business owners need trust. Content creators need trust, right? So let's kind of get into the content creators. The cameraman and the creator, there has to be a level of trust between those two, that each one can get the job done. There's a respect level from the content creator to the cameraman, and then the cameraman to the content creator, knowing that, hey, this content is going to be good. You're going to shoot it the right way. I'm going to say the right things. I'm not going to disrespect you. You're not going to disrespect me. Right? We have a level of understanding on how this day is going to go. Right? That the content is going to be good. We come up with these ideas. Right? And there's different ideas. And then there's also managers, and depending on how big a level that you get. Right? But there has to be trust. There's trust in the platform that you're streaming on. Right? There's trust in the internet connection with the company that you're going to be working on. There's a lot of things that kind of go into that, right? You know, when you're a leader, in order to be a lead, sometimes to be a leader, people have to trust your decision-making skills to see if you can delegate very well. Whether you in church, or you on an athletic team, a chess team, whatever type of team that you on, and you say that you are the leader, or you are delegated the leader because of your decision-making skills, the way that you communicate with everybody. You know everybody needs and wants, and you can make decisions and put the team in the best position possible. Trust is the foundation of influence. If people don't trust you, you really don't have influence with them. I'm going to say that again. If people don't trust you, you don't have influence with them. So how can they put you in a position of power, put you in a position, or let you be in a position of power, or let you be in a position to consult them if they don't trust you? Now here's the big mistake people make. At least one of them. They really focus on what they want. Right? Getting back to the car salesman. Keep talking about this particular car. This car doesn't align with my needs. I don't want that car. You got a family of 5 or 6 that comes to the dealership, but you're recommending this fast car that only sits 4, but it's a family of 6. You can't try to sell them a coupe. You can't try to sell them a fast car. And you could try to sell them a truck, but does the truck fit the need of the SUV? It might fit dad's needs, but does it fit mom's needs? Does it fit the kids' needs? How safe is it? All those things go into play. Yeah, you gotta sell this, you gotta sell that, but this is aligned with this person's needs. I remember, there was times when, I was in retail, and I knew that I had to sell, internet. I had to sell cell phones. Some customers I didn't sell a phone to, but I sold them internet. Some people I sold internet to, but not a cell phone. Right? Some people I sold both to. It just depends on who that person is. And maybe some days you might be able to get away with it, but then at the same time, you got these things called chargebacks, where you might sell the customer, but they come back and they return it, or they go to another store and cancel it because they went back and made a decision. So you got to make sure that there is a level of trust, and you're not just that salesperson that just can speak very well. That's another thing. Because just because I can just sell you, or because I have a certain presence about me, and I can peer pressure you, or I can pressure you into purchasing this product or service from me, you can then go and return it because you go back and think about everything that I said, and then if it didn't line up with what I said, now you don't want to do business with me, so now you're going to return it. That happens a lot. So you got to be mindful. You're just not trying to sell or position what you have. You have to be a consultant. Console them. Give them good recommendations. And you have to align it with their skills. I mean, you have to align it with their needs and wants that they have. Successful people focus on how they can help. When you focus on solving the problem, they're going to remember you and come back and be a repeat customer. I remember working at Best Buy. I ended up getting a family. Like, a dad came in and bought a TV. Then he sent his grandfather, then sent his son. Then everybody come in and get a TV. Hey, go see Larry. He took care of us. Oh, yeah, we're going to put that order in. Yeah, Larry, you know I bought a TV. I bought the TV from you. Hey, what do you know about this sound system? Hey, Miss Davidson, I bought this laptop from you, but I'm gonna need about 3 or 4 more. Hey, Larry, I bought this tablet from you, but I got this business that I'm working on. Let me get about 10 of them. Building rapport, being a consultant, gaining that trust. Say what you mean what you say, and it ends up being accurate. When you focus on creating value, opportunities then follow. So, just kind of wrap this all up. Those are the lessons that made me money, and it wasn't just learning how to talk. It was aligning myself with the industry, knowing the language, knowing the knowledge, understanding who was in front of me, understanding their needs and their wants, building value within myself because I was knowing about what they were talking about, being knowledgeable and experienced with the product and or service, and then giving them a recommendation because we have had those conversations, and being a consultant instead of a salesperson. It was learning how to listen, learning how to digest what the customer had just told me, and then applying that and consoling them on a recommendation on what they needed to do and what they needed to purchase to fulfill the goal that they came to the store for, or to fulfill the business inquiry that they had. Building trust will build you opportunities. Subscribe to the Larry Motivates channel. Hey, look, y'all, we building this thing together. Please like and subscribe and even comment, especially if you want to have, more motivational speeches like this or inform things throughout your day. I'm going to be here. How about you?